For a man whose life has been such a journey, it seems fitting he should now find himself driving a truck for the Salvation Army. At 28, Nathan Rakuraku had been addicted to pee for more than half his life. He not only used the drug, but to pay for his habit, he also sold it. On the very South Auckland streets, he now makes pickups and deliveries.
So it strengthens me in some ways to come through these areas, to know where I've come from and to where I am now.
Nathan and his partner Ayla have been off pee for a year. They're expecting their first child together, although they have a blended family of 4 other children. Rather than being clean of the drug pee, they prefer to describe themselves as free.
I can't explain being clean. I can only explain how I feel. What it does when you truly, in your heart, your mind, your soul, let go of the drug, something uplifts from you. You stand straight. You can look people in the eye. You can
smile.
You can hold a conversation. You know, those are some of the basic things that I didn't have.
It's an astonishing achievement for Nathan to be drug-free. He started smoking cannabis when he was just 7, and as a teenager, progressed to pee. His only break from the use of methamphetamine came while he was serving a prison term for aggravated robbery. It wasn't long after Nathan got out of prison that he and Ayla picked the habit back up.
We were trying to find little gaps that we could get high in, you know, while the kids doing their thing and we're trying to do shopping there, so we'd find little gaps.
It's quite a selfish drug.
Yes.
Definitely.
Very selfish, very selfish drug.
You see that now, but did you see that then?
Oh, yeah, I think
we did. We just didn't want to.
I mean, it doesn't make you dumb. The drug don't make you dumb, eh?
Definitely don't.
To the point where you're gullible or you don't see normal things like spending time with your kids and hiding things from them, you know. Yeah, just manoeuvring around the truth.
I mean, we used to take our kids to the park and our thing was we're only taking them to the park so they can go and play and we can sit in the car and get high, you know. It wasn't, oh, we're going to go and let them go and play so they can have fun. It was more, you go over there and we come over here, you know. So we pretty much isolated ourselves with them, even though they thought, oh, it's a park.
Seeing the couple so attentive to their children now, it's hard to believe they were ever neglectful. But the drug's effect on their lives nearly destroyed their relationship.
I was doing a lot of the bad things. I was doing a lot of crime. It became to a point where I'd have money, I'd have drugs, but then I'd still have that tendency to go and do crime and take from people. And I think
I knew it was wrong. I knew. That's why I say it was we were doing bad things, because I knew it was wrong. I could have told him. I could have told him, I could have told him, no, don't be doing that.
But I took the lead, I must admit.
But yeah.
I would.
I think once I seen the outcome that what he had and what he could get and stuff like that, it was like, oh, okay then, I'll just be quiet, you know. But then before we even got to that stage, we lost our home, you know, because we weren't paying our rent. We started fighting a lot.
But worse was to come for Nathan and Ayla.
I have hit Ayla once, and that was to the end of my journey on methamphetamine. Not long after that was the day after that, maybe, or the 2 days after that.
2 days after that, that was it. We made that decision.
Left the drug behind.
Having never been a religious person, Nathan had what he describes as a spiritual experience and found God. He says instantly the darkness around him became brighter. He put down the pee pipe and hasn't picked it up since. Seeing Nathan's transformation was enough for Ayla to share his faith. Without any rehab or specialist treatment program, Nathan and Ayla simply gave up.
I just threw it all away. I pretty much gave my money out to everybody, anyone that I could just walk past.
When she got rid of the last bit of drugs that she had, She made sure that she tipped it out of the bag instead of just
Because all I can
throw
think
it
of
away
is if I
with,
threw it,
inside the
someone else
bag
is going to
because
pick it up.
She felt like if this is the cause to what we've been through, she didn't want it for anybody else, and I think that's the changes that I see. You know what I mean? Those are massive things. You know, I totally hate the drug. I do not hate the people that are using it. You can't, but I hate the drug.
Neither says they could have done it without the other. Even after a year free from the drug, they still text or talk to each other every hour.
So you feel you have to manage it that closely, even now?
Yeah, it's a safety. That's the safety net that we put under us. It's also like a coping mechanism. It's a tool that we use, and the benefits that we see from doing this is what keeps us going. So yeah, we try hard at that. Yeah, it's a job. It's an everyday job.
Yeah, definitely it does. It feels like an everyday job.
So what is life like off the drug? And how did someone with a 15-year meth habit become the face of a national charity campaign? That's next on The Hui.
Hello, my name is Nathan. I'm 28 years old and I'm from Manurewa. My life that I led about 6 months ago was more or less a life of crime, a life of abusing methamphetamine.
As charitable campaigns go, Nathan's story couldn't have been a more genuine reminder of the work the Salvation Army does in our communities. And while there may have been a risk in using someone still so fresh from kicking the habit, the Salvation Army's Rod Ellis says Nathan's motivation and message was strong.
I think many people will be challenged by it. There will be questions on the positive and the negative side of things, but have a look at him and the humility he shows when he speaks about it. I think that's the difference. There is a really depth there that he wants his story to be told in a way that it will impact people.
Nathan and Ayla had needed the Salvation Army's help in the past with food parcels and finding accommodation. Trying to stay drug-free and without a job, Nathan volunteered at the Salvation Army, feeling he could give back.
Must be great to actually be doing something that benefits other people. It's a great job for you, isn't it?
It is, because I guess most of my life I've always been on the receiving end, and if I wasn't on the receiving end, I'd be selfish and take it where I could get it. So this is like the whole turnaround of things. It's
Giving back?
yes, it gives you something personally to be able to give back.
Yeah.
And Nathan's voluntary work ethic impressed the Salvation Army so much, he was eventually offered a job.
Nathan, when he comes to me every morning, he walks into my office, which is he shakes my hand and he almost saying thank you, and then we have a sit and have a chat about where he's at, what he's going through, and then Ayla's part of that. But for me to see this young Māori guy come through and really want to be free and to work at that, to me, is amazing.
Yeah, because he's pretty blunt about what his future might have been otherwise.
Yeah, he says quite categorically he'd probably be in prison or dead. I mean, they were the two options facing him if he continued down that track.
Nathan says he's found a home in the Salvation Army, and its support has been crucial to changing his life.
For me, it's like going back to that marae. Every day I wake up and I'm like going back home to my marae, and that's the feeling I get when I get here. Yeah.
Nathan and Ayla say they both came from dysfunctional families, and the parenting skills they've learned through the Sallies and the greater time they're now spending with their children is making a huge difference.
We're better parents.
We're better people. We're better to strangers. We're better to our family. We're better to our kids. First and foremost, we're better to ourselves.
And life has changed markedly for the pair. Despite the best efforts of parents, many don't have a roof over their heads. During the launch of the Salvation Army's fundraising campaign, Nathan flew to Wellington to make a presentation. What do you think about where you are now?
I feel it's a little bit surreal.
It was the first time he'd been on an airplane, let alone on a stage in front of an audience.
Oh, that was just a
lovely.
massive privilege. Eh? I guess if you put positive people on your side when it comes to a daunting day, just speaking of it to them releases part of the weight. You can share that weight because it's an everyday thing for a human to go through. Every human should have their struggling days, and I think if you have positive people there to speak to about it, I think it
makes it a lot
it
easier.
can really help you to just carry on and to know that, oh, you're not the only one.
The word miracle is used so often these days. But while we were filming Nathan's story, they believe they received a miracle. They'd been without a family vehicle for weeks and had been repeatedly turned down for a loan to buy one. Then, out of the blue, a foreign tourist arrived at Nathan's work in a vehicle he'd bought for his New Zealand stay. And it wasn't just any vehicle. It was a people mover of the exact size Nathan and Ayla needed. His stay in New Zealand had come to an end, and he said God had directed him to Nathan.
When he gave me the keys to the car, he said, "You like it?" I
picked
said,
up his
"I said,
bag."
yeah. Why wouldn't I like it?" He says, "Well, okay then." And he grabs his bag and he went to go and walk off. I
Walk
said,
towards the bus stop.
"What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm going back to Auckland. I'm in the hostel and I'm leaving on Sunday." I said, "No, you're coming with me." And he sort of like looked at me like, "Why?" I said, "You're coming to meet the family that you just gave the car to." He's like, "Wow!" He took his bag off and took him home, and this one started having a tongue
I
whistle.
was like, oh my God.
I let him speak his story to Ayla so that she could feel what I felt, and oh man, the kids were
It's very
just hugging him.
overwhelming.
Thank you,
Lovely,
thank you. You really giving us your car? He's like, yeah.
See you, Mike.
And who would bet against Nathan and Ayla's incredible journey, not encountering another miracle or two?